All right, everybody, welcome on back. Continuing along, of course, with our afternoon meeting here in the Cyber Group Trading Room, and of course, streaming across YouTube and Facebook alike here with our afternoon meeting, guys. Let's get a quick sound check, as always, to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. In fact, actually, just for anyone streaming across YouTube, Facebook, allow me one moment. I'm going to take myself off the screen share and then look to reset it up here. Oh, much better. Perfect. All right, there we go. Great to see everybody here in our trading room. Leda, Ken, David, as always, perfect. Great to see you guys. Bali, Amy, Ralph, the likes. Great to see all of our students here, at least going into this Tuesday afternoon. So, to start, how can we not? USO, UCO, SCO, of course, crude oil, all over the place once again today, guys. We ended up seeing UCO and the likes, USO here on the top of the losers list so far. UCO is down 63% right now and counting. USO here, a lot cheaper. This is actually, or it was, a shortable ETF earlier going into the day. UCO, a lot steadier of a drop-off going into this afternoon. This thing's been holding support at 12 really nicely. I mean, you could see it on the chart, but we were calling this out at least heading into the afternoon, the bounce off of 12, that is. So, easy to say we're going to throw crude oil alike just on our list, as we should, as we have been going into this market afternoon. All right, guys, let's check in with just the Dow Industrial, see how the markets are doing alike. I know Ben was referencing earlier that there's a chance we could have a very red afternoon, very red close at least. So, for right now, I mean, the Dow is holding strong, I guess, down 516 points. So definitely down. A lot of that happening overnight and, more so from the morning, but, small little bounce, and at least for right now, pretty flat. So, for right now, aside from crude, I'd expect things to be relatively slow in a tighter range, much like you're kind of seeing here, but perhaps across, from 3 to 4 o'clock Eastern time, as we head into the final hour of the trading day, we'll tend to see things pick up a lot sharper. So, guys, aside from crude, what we'll do is just recap a couple of the bigger movers that we caught from earlier today. And then, like I'd said, we'll look to rescan, recap, and go through everything else on our gainers and losers list. So, aside from crude, I should say, Watt. It's hard for me to not start with Watt. Aside from crude, we ended up seeing the Watt trade more so breakout from pre-market. We were covering this in Traders Talk to a great degree, our weekly workshop that we also streamed, at least for this week, on YouTube and Facebook, the likes. Well, we ended up covering this as a team. We discussed the breakout at the market open. We discussed the fact that strong resistance became strong support. And, mostly where this Watt trade ended up holding support, it squeezed right back up. So this was the star of the morning, at least, the Watt trade, WATT. Ended up making a false breakout, though, from 4, and we covered that before we moved on from the stock in our workshop. But that was the end of the run. Watt ended up making this, crazy short-lived pop and drop from 4, and then, from there just tanked. So unfortunately, I think that this Watt trade is done for the day, trading 108 plus million shares. I mean, if you could get the shares to short, that might be a better opportunity. It is holding support, so you might say that, but it's trading in a much tighter range right now. And just with the volume it's traded across the whole day today, over 108 plus million shares traded total today, a little bit more compared to its just average on the daily chart here. So whereas you see such a big pre-market run and a couple of pops after the open and moves from there, it's easily exhausted at this point. So, it is possible that it can make a small little pop or so forth, but for right now, I'd rather focus on something that's setting itself up for a new move compared to something that's just flat. So, Watt was a great trade from earlier today. Also, looking at the daily chart, guys, for Watt, I mean, not to say that we knew this would come today right away, but this stock fell from quite a high spot back from the beginning of 2018. It's just been a smooth, steady drop off here. A little move up and down, of course, here back in early 2019. But for such a big drop off over time, I mean, if good news comes out, the shorts cover, us day traders buy, more shorts cover, it leads to a fantastic pop. So unfortunately, this is the type of stock that we end up seeing the volume drop off pretty sharply on. Getting some call outs here in the chat board, APA, RAD, double time on RAD. I'll look at everything. Ken too on APA, but RAD, yeah, we were following this from last week, the earnings on Thursday. It's been a tradable stock since, don't get me wrong. And, of course, if you made money on RAD the last week off earnings, then I'm sure that you could look to follow this for this afternoon. Donna says that she's in. Very nice, Donna. If you don't mind sharing, just because it's moving fast, so you're more focused on your money, as you should be. What's your entry point? Donna's in our chat board right now, in our trading room, I should say. So I just want to hear from her at least what her entry is. Donna is short from 1324. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you look at the chart, seems like a pretty easy trade. Broke lower, broke below support. Donna hopped right in under the level. Fantastic entry, Donna. You're doing great on this trade. For right now, RAD, Donna, you already know it's on your list, at least for the close. And if you did well on this trade, perhaps from earlier, from last week and going into yesterday too, perhaps keep it on your radar. For right now, I'm probably going to skip over this. Just I'd like to find better opportunities as far as what's up or down more. Then we'll come back to this RAD trade. Ken was shouting out APA, which, APA again, oil stock, if anything. The APA trade ended up making a pretty strong pop after the open. Ultimately, we ended up seeing this fizzle out. But I'll tell you, although it's not up a whole lot, at least percentage-wise today, it's making a pretty strong push up to the highs of the day. I'll be fair. This APA appeals to me a little bit more right now heading into the afternoon. I'm not going to put this on the main list just yet, but I love this one so far. I probably will at the end. I'll come back to this. APA, then, hey, Ken, if APA is moving like this, check out Oxy, perhaps. Doesn't look as strong. I thought it was going to. I'll tell you. All right, so Oxy, we're probably not going to focus on. APA, though, is still in contention. All right. So crude oil, of course, we started off just by shouting out, obviously just, a huge run up today on SCO, huge drop off on the other ETFs there. So, crude oil naturally we'll put on our list. We haven't seen too many symbols, too many equities, I should say, move with the ETFs and move with the sector. Not as sharply as much, I should say. I'm sure that there's a couple that relate specifically, but we haven't seen as much movement otherwise. So, we'll look to scan from this point forward, guys. For a couple of the other movers that we caught, we'll look to recap them as they are on the top of the gainers list still. I'm really more so talking about the VXRT. We'll get to that coming up in a few minutes. I want to just scan right from top to bottom here. So TRMD, we're not going to put this on our list. I mean, crazy move up, I guess. I don't know what happened. From 10 to 50. Who the hell is trading this? 1,000 share volume spikes here and there. Yeah, a little bit more as it pushed up, but holy smokes, talk about a pump and dump. It's what we not look to trade. So yeah, this TRMD we're going to pass on. Oh boy. SD, nice pop from earlier. I didn't trade this one, but I guess I'm regretting that I missed out on this trade. SD had a nice little gap fill. I think a few of us were calling this one out earlier. Seems like it broke a new high before, up towards 188. Pulled back quite a bit. So, this stock I feel like also has kind of, finished its move up. It already made two big spikes across the day. If there is one area that I like to talk about on this, it's that it's actually shortable. This SD trade. So if it's not breaking higher, and if this really begins to, go the other way, I mean, perhaps we could see this drop off a little bit. We could short it. So I'll keep this on the side. I like APA more, if anything. GPOR, another stock that moved up nicely earlier on in the morning. Unfortunately, again, the volume crapped out pretty quick. It dived off pretty sharply and really just flattened out. So, nice pop earlier, but we're going to pass. Here I saw Philip in our chat board. Philip J just call out my size, MYSC, obviously next one here. Great call. And this one is one that we've traded in the past and not just like a one-off situation here. Last time that we really traded my size, I think it was just back here, mid to late 2019, July 25th, huge, pop and run up afterwards. Here's my guess also. I think my size had a bunch of reverse splits, if I'm not mistaken. If not a bunch, then maybe just one or two over the last year or so, because this was always a cheap stock. So I don't think this fell off from, 10, 15 bucks or so. So, given the reverse splits, given the move up here, I like it, Philip. Be careful of the spread, though. The spread could open up quick on this trade. So MYSZ, we will definitely put on our list for now. Good call. All right, VXRT, another pre-market pop early on. I'll tell you, I entered the trading room today, guys. I said my hellos to you guys. I was plotting out my morning, and then, just I had this on one of my screens. So the second I saw this pop, it was just good timing. Later, I'll tell you, this is where I'll say I got lucky off the pop here. Just fortunate timing, luck, however you may phrase it. We caught this the second it broke out in pre-market early on. So from there, well, it ended up holding resistance pretty nicely right off at 320. From there, pulled back. Well, when the market opened up, it made its nice little run up here, up towards 345 high of the day, and a double top here as of now. So, it seems like there still could be some potential on this trade. VXRT, again, a stock that's trading well above its average. So, we could still say just, hey, the stock has exhausted itself out across the day. But what if it ends up breaking higher? What if this ends up making a bullish move over 340, makes a move up to 350? So, for right now, keep it on the side. I like the APA of the ones on our side list more than anything else. Probably put that on our main list. All right, PXS, I think, was a tanker stock, if I'm not mistaken. Pixis tankers, yes. So nice pop, at least at the market open. Unfortunately, it fizzled out quick. It's trying to, I guess, move back up, but for right now, we'll pass. All right, the NNVC was called out going into the afternoon meeting. This was what was on the screen before I turned over to just a couple of the ETFs to begin. So we called this out just shortly after 2 o'clock. It already, of course, made such a big move from 560 up towards high of the day 780. What goes up comes back down. So we're seeing some profit taking around the 750 level, 730-ish level. And, for right now, it's still kind of just holding support. So I'm certainly going to put this on our list in hopes of a new move going into the close. But you got a big spread up and down, very small, light, scattered orders on the book here. So I believe Fausto was just commenting on that before too. All right, we got XSPA, XSPA, at least making another up move today, or at least from earlier, dropped off. Old TVIX is back up 19%. It's only $305 right now, guys, so it's at a big discount. Obviously kidding with that. We're not going to focus on TVIX going into the close. We already have enough business with the ETFs this afternoon with, UCO, USO, SCO, etc. This cheapy DSS, nice trend, nice run. Normally don't focus on the cheapies like this, but it's fallen off quite a bit over the last year or so. So perhaps this can have a little bit more left to its run going into the afternoon. I'll put this on our list, DSS. It's cheap. If we could trade, 10,000, 20,000 shares, pick up 3 cents, that's a massive win in my opinion. Not something that we typically specialize on and focus on as much, but you know what? Hey, I'll put it on our list for now. Nice trend. APDN runner from last week, just flat. All right, let's just keep going through. We'll skim through any other familiar names or any other trends that look pretty steady. We'll focus on AVCO, avocado, I call it. Not doing too much as well. Oh, geez. Let's see. What else do we have here, guys? Tops, TOPS, trying to build this rounded bottom, or, well, it's already built it. Just a matter of trying to break out higher at this point. You know what? We have DSS on our list already. I'll put Tops on 2. Makes it two cheapies, but that's it though. Let's see. So far we have 4 on our list, so really slim picking so far. It's not like I'm really throwing everything in the kitchen sink on our list this afternoon. So really see a whole lot out there. ATEX, big pop, but just pretty dead as of right now. Pretty expensive. COCP. We'll put this on our list. Back on our watch list, I should say. We are pretty familiar with this stock. Looked like an absolute nightmare just over the last month or so, but we caught this more so off the huge breakout going into the end of February, and then it gapped up the next morning and just completely tanked. So, there have been days, even though these, bars are red, where, the close was lower than the open. There are days where we day traded this, guys. We're not swing trading the stock. So, let's say here for early March where it gapped up, looks like it opened up, very nicely from 170 up to 224. Beautiful move. But it's not an all-day move. It comes down, it breaks below support, and it breaks lower going into the afternoon. So, we're not trying to hold on to these trades all throughout the day, at least for right now. COCB, it's got a huge iceberg here at 107, and then, of course, the high of the day was holding well, 108. So, at least for now, we have a resistance. We have a setup to work with. I'll put this on our list for now. All right, what else? So a couple of call outs on Coop, COOP. 2 million shares. Nice run up earlier. It's having a tough time breaking higher here. So for right now, I'll pass on this. But tradable stock, tight spread, liquid order book. I think Philip called this out before. So good call at the time. Just slowed down a bit. It is shortable, so if it goes the other way. But for right now, we'll keep this on our side as well. All right, so I think we have more on the side list than we do on the main list, guys. It goes to show how picky I'm trying to be, at least heading into this afternoon. So as we go through the losers list, there's always a bunch that's very difficult to borrow, if not impossible to borrow on the losers list. So we typically skip over those. UCO, USO, the ETFs for crude oil will follow, of course, and oil alike, I should say. Oh man, geez, CYCC. I did not even see this, guys, this morning. Really quick, I told you guys this during the afternoon meeting. Yesterday during the afternoon meeting, that this was likely to close lower. It did, but holy smokes, I did not see this coming. So my guess, and I feel I know the answer just from experience, but typically for a lot of these small cap stocks, guys, if it's not same day, then it's just a day or two after, where news comes out relating to either a common stock offering or a direct offering of shares. Let's see, am I right or wrong with this? Here we go. Yep, offering of 4 million shares priced at $5 right away. Stock tanks from that point. So nasty drop. Unfortunately, this dropped way lower than I thought it was going to move to. Just goes to show, though, we can't hold on to these trades all throughout the day and certainly turn a day trade into a swing trade. All right, so aside from the stock we're not going to trade here, at least, is there anything otherwise on the loser side? This one's at the lows of the day. It's shortable, but it's so slow. Ooh, look at this. What is this? ZIXI. Talk about a tongue twister symbol. Yeah, I mean, this one honestly looks pretty decent. A nice, trend on the chart. Dropped off throughout the day, moved up to 580, and it's pulled back to the lows now. It's shortable. It has a tight spread. Seems like we have a support at 540. About 5,800 shares on the bid. Not the biggest order that we've seen there, but you know what? It's support. So the ZIXI, try saying that 3 times fast. We'll put this on our list. I'm not going to try that for you guys here. All right. What else? SCYX, just too cheap. Yeah, we're done. All right, guys, let me know if there's anything up, down, otherwise that you would want me to look at. See a couple calls here from Donna and Vax worth watching at 22. Corona stock. Yeah, similar pattern to INO, I feel like. They're not moving the exact same. INO from earlier today, big run up, well over 10. We crushed it on this trade, guys. Last 3 days, honestly, we've hit this almost from bottom to top. But from what goes up comes back down. This thing came back down. It broke below the big entry support that we were looking at earlier and tanked all the way down to low of the day 861. So similar pattern here, Donna. Both are kind of squeezing back up to resistance or so forth. So for right now, I'm going to put these on the side list, so to say, but could be a good one to follow maybe in the final 30 minutes. Yeah, Ken, that EPA trade I'm going to put on our list. Now we'll get promoted. Oil stock, first off, so very volatile, of course, sector entirely, whether it be crude oil, whether it be gas, whether it be just stocks like APA and Oxy that typically move with oil. Here we tend to see at least, a new high going into the afternoon. So, this APA trade we'll focus on. All right, from Bonnie, HRB, H&R Block. New high, yes, not up or down a whole lot. Tradable stock. Again, just because the stock doesn't make the watch list, guys, doesn't mean that it's untradeable, right? Like, AMD is tradable. A little pricey to some of us, but if you ask me about AMD, I'm always going to say it's a stock that has a tight spread, a liquid order book. Of course, just a very volatile stock of late, and today it really dropped off. This was a very big move earlier. Honestly, this is down enough for me to actually put on the watch list, if anything. But I'm not gonna, for right now. But point being, if I don't put it on the list, doesn't mean that it's just untradeable. It just means that there could be better opportunities otherwise. CHK, yeah, CHK later, Chesapeake Energy. So, I was thinking, I'm like, why aren't we seeing so much more action across, equities that follow oil or follow energy alike? CHK, new high. This is a stock that had a big reverse split recently. This was like, what, like 20 cents a share, 30 cents a share at one point recently? This was certainly not $700 last year. So, for a nice pop here going into the close later, very good call. I like this. All right. I think that's it, guys. Ken, I don't know what that is. Let me know if there's any other stocks, any other trades that you would want me to look at. Otherwise, I feel we have a decent list here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks. So I'll tell you, better than my 15 stocks I normally throw on our list. Cliff says Oxy grew some legs. I like to hear that. At least it's moving a little bit sharper, Cliff. You know what? I mean, it's not up, that I would normally put on our list. But if APA is moving the way it is, you got to figure Oxy would tail behind it. So we're hoping for a breakout on this trade, if anything. But I'll tag Oxy alongside the APA trade there. All right. All right, that makes it 9 now. Before I start putting everything else on our watch list, I'm going to close out for you guys here. So I'm going to post and tweet the picks to you guys. We're going to put them, of course, on Facebook as well. Keep in mind, just for anyone watching this meeting across YouTube and Facebook at this time, if you'd like to learn more about Cyber Trading University and what we offer here between our trading room and online classroom, feel more than free to call our office. And otherwise, we'll look to talk to you guys further. For all of us here in the trading room, of course, well, go nowhere else. We're going to look to trade going into the final hour of the day, guys. Let's work together as a team and close things out strongly. All right? Talk to you soon.